Hey everyone, welcome to this Google EMD algorithm update news. Today is October 10th, and we have another update that came out today that I just want to bring up. This one is a layout update. We had a layout update back sometime like in January or so, where basically Google did a scan on sites and they were looking for quality content starting from the top left corner, working their way down. So if you had a lot of ads up there, then they kind of penalized you for that. And yeah, the big news on that one was basically that if you look at Google's web pages, all they do is have ads toward the top, and then you get your quality content after that. Well, apparently Google thinks it's okay for them, but regular websites should not be the same way. If you had ads on the upper corner or upper area, that the layout pretty much would also dictate part of your algorithm and where you rank in the search engines. A good poll taken by, I guess, Barry Schwartz at SEO Roundtable said that he saw during this poll that webmasters had about a 20% recovery. The problem with this particular update is the recovery has to have the bots come back through and scan your site again after you do the fixes. So sometimes these could take a few weeks to, I think, even a couple months for some people. But once again, they've done a refresh on that, basically, or an update on the algorithm, and you can actually see if there's been an effect, basically, if you've seen a drop today, because today was when it was actually first coming out. Another thing that came out today, or was besides the image update, was that there was something that I noticed regarding referral sites that came through, and I just wanted to bring this up. It's not necessarily an update for referral sites, but I wanted to go through to show you a little bit of our analytics and to see what affected your rank and what did not by using analytics, and what keywords specifically really hurt you. This EMD update, I got hit pretty hard for a website that did not actually have the key term that was actually affected, that I was actually targeting from the day I built it. I just never used an EMD formula. It wasn't an exact match domain. It was a more of a branding type name, and I still lost like 60-70% of my traffic. And as I looked more into the analytics to figure out what was going on, I came across some really interesting things that I'd like to share. Maybe you could be in the same boat. And one of the things I noticed was there was an image update for Google Images, and I noticed that my image rankings, or the traffic I was getting from images, hurt pretty hard, and my referral site traffic got hit pretty hard. So let's go ahead and see what happened there. I should be showing you some examples of that. Okay, so what do we do after we look at our analysis? I'm going to be going over some of the things that perhaps you can do for adjusting after your analysis is done. Making sure you're on target. It really could be easier to recover than you think once you take a look at some of these. Now, of course, I know a lot of you are SEO masters out there, and you've probably already done some of this, and we'd love to hear what other things you've done. Please share your information with the community. It could really help a lot of us out that could have golden nuggets from your information given. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is actually my analytics referral traffic to show you what happened. Now, the way I set this up is I basically set up the match so that my dates are set up in a way that you will see a comparison. Basically, the blue line represents the after EMD update, and the orange line here represents 2 weeks prior. Now, what I did is I matched weekday for weekday so that we would have a parallel kind of traffic line, and I recommend that because if you do, just week to week without matching up the day by day, most websites have a pattern where either weekends are drop, or depending on what your niche is, like my wife, the weekends skyrocket. But you want to match it day by day. So you'll see, like, this is actually a good date setup, the September 29th, when the algorithm really took into effect and hit a lot of people, to October 9th, which is basically about 10 days. And then go 2 weeks prior, September 15th to, September 29th to October 9th, and then compare that to September 15th to September 25th, and you'll get a charting like this. So what we're seeing here, oops, sorry. is my referral traffic went after the EMD update down to 84 for that EMD week from the 29th till today for the last 10 days. And 2 weeks prior to that, you'll notice that we had 300 visitors that came by. So there is quite a bit of actually traffic drop. In fact, in this category for referral traffic, I had a 54% drop overall. Um, and what's interesting too is that my bounce rate actually went down too. So that's something that's also to take note of. The bounce rate had an effect on this time period, which means that even the algo update actually didn't do as well as it should have. I mean, basically what it means is my bounce rate went up when it has this negative because of the way that I have the date set. You might want to have it set the other way. It's totally up to you, but this is one way I look at it. And you'll notice that I do switch it when it comes to other metrics. So here, what I'm also wanting to tell you is that from here in this Google, I actually clicked on the Google source link here, and it gave me a couple of different Google URLs. And what happens is this IMG RES is actually Google Images. And it shows here where most of my traffic was lost. It was actually lost in the Google Images. I used to actually have images filled for my keywords on the Google Images, and it was actually very relevant. In fact, I looked today, and the stuff that I had put in there is way better than what was actually put up now, or what this image algorithm had hit. So I'm thinking, even though a lot of people have said that the images came up at a different time, I believe the images update looks to me like it actually happened the same time the EMD took. So that's just another example of looking into further detail of what analytics can tell you regarding where you're losing your traffic. Let's go on to the next one. This is actually search engine comparison. Now this is another thing that's pretty interesting. Not only did I lose a lot of traffic to the EMD, but I also lost a lot of traffic across the board. So what's telling me is generally, maybe as the season is coming closer to winter, I am beginning to lose traffic just overall, because if you look at even Bing, there was an 8% decrease. Yahoo, I had a 9% decrease. Ask, 38%. I don't know how many people use Ask, but my decreases were pretty significant. Ask is actually related to, I believe, Google searches anyway. But what you'll notice is that my Google searches were dropping, down 36%, and on top of that, what I thought was interesting is after the EMD update, in this particular Google search source, I noticed that for my keywords, I'm actually seeing a lower bounce rate, and 40% is pretty good for a website. I mean, anything below 50 is actually considered pretty good. But also, you notice that my duration has gone up a little, nothing really massively significant. But this is just another comparison to also say, hey, not only did I lose some traffic coming from Google that day, it looks like I lost traffic from also Bing and Yahoo. I don't know how that affected, how the EMD might have affected that. But this is actually evidence of what was going on. Now, the next thing I want to show you was how I did my setup. So there's two ways you can do it, but what I did, basically, I click on the top. There's a compare checkbox, and I set up the pre. Now this is for this particular organic searching. I'm going to set up the pre-date, which is the blue, before EMD, September 15th to September 25th, and then September 29th to October 9th, which is the EMD beginning until yesterday for me. This is how I set that up. And then what I did was I went to traffic sources here, went to the sources, and this link to the drop down did the search here, and then clicked on organic. And from organic, what I also did was I then selected my keyword, and this is going to be what you're going to be seeing on the next slide. Basically, it looks like it's an increase because of the way this comparison is, but what you want to just really look at are these two numbers here. It's really a decrease. The prior week I had 3,500 visits. The next week I had basically 2,200 visits, and the bounce rate prior week was 43, and it went down 1%. So it actually maybe have done a little bit better. But you can see the parallel differences and the losses that actually came out between the blue. This is, again, the blue line is pre-EMD, and the orange line is post-EMD, after the EMD took. So as we move on to the next page, now using that data that was actually entered above to do my setup and my parameters, these black lines are actually my keywords. I don't wish to have any more competitors in my market, so I've blocked out my keywords. But the reason why I set up the prior slide this way is because I wanted to know what were the top ranking words prior to the EMD, and that's how you set it up. So September 15th to the 25th, the highest traffic to my website was actually this particular keyword that you see here. Let's just say ABC keyword. What you'll notice is that actually post EMD, I had actually more visits for my main keyword. And this is the keyword I was targeting when I built the site, and that's what I got most of my traffic in. But so most of my losses came from stuff like my secondary keywords that I didn't particularly target. I was just getting extra benefit because it was relative. So that keyword here had a 30% drop. The third keyword here had a 40% drop. The fifth keyword here. Now these were my top keywords that I got all my traffic from at a 1300% drop. So what I need to do really in essence is I am actually targeting or focusing on the next 4 lines here. And I believe that some of these are actually because the image drops. So there's really, I have to target or figure out what the image drops were. And I'm noticing a lot of the image drops are actually, I think I'm missing some title tags on there. And I'll be able to recover, hopefully, by basically looking at this, these analytical data and figure out what's the problem here. So that is how I am using my analytical data to figure out more and more deeper which algorithm hit me hardest and how I'm going to be recovering from it. So basically, that's our update for today. What I want to do is I want to ask again, we want to hear from you. Send us your email, your MP3, your audio files, or your videos. You send us your YouTube links on anything that you guys have been finding about the EMD update since it's happened and how recovery is happening. You can send it to emdalgoupdate@gmail.com. Tell us where you have been affected, whether you have been affected, if you've noticed even an increase or a decrease, and if there's anything that you can actually give hints and tips to figure out things. I definitely know that the images is a huge part now of my loss. Now that I've been analyzing deeper into this and seeing and going back through some of the listings of the algorithm changes, you can see the algorithm changes at seomoz.org/google-algorithm-change, and you'll have a list of all the algorithm changes. They don't talk about today's yet regarding the mapping. But it does give you a lot of the Panda and Penguin update time frames, so you can kind of pinpoint the issues that are out there. Thank you for watching. We'll keep you up to date. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter at emdalgo.com. It's completely free. It'll just give you notifications of these updates as they come out and anything, hints and tips that we can provide for you. Be sure to also look at our other videos that have come out. You can find it at WebLifeMarketing, youtube.com/WebLifeMarketing. That's our channel there. And again, thank you for watching. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.